Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the 41st Ryder Cup. Pleased to be joined by U.S. Captain Davis Love III. Davis, maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you had in store this morning and where you might be headed after we finish up here.
Well, we came out early. I think Bubba and I came out earliest of the captains to get guys to media early. They got that knocked out, and then got all three groups out playing. We mixed up our tee times a little bit. I know we confused the fans, but we figured they'd find us eventually, and got everybody teed off, and they're out there getting some work done. And I get to go see the Junior Ryder Cup team here after this, and then practice my speech down on the big stage, which I'll be glad when that's over with, both the practice and the real thing. But we're having a good day. You know, everybody seems to be hitting the ball well and playing well and having fun and getting a lot of work done. This is the kind of the big day before there's a lot going on tomorrow. So tomorrow's a kind of a jammed up day with the opening ceremonies, and still got some media obligations. So guys are really focused today on getting a full day's work in and finishing off testing balls and, you know, working on learning the golf course and all those kind of things. So busy day for us and a hard work day.
Great. Let's open up the floor for questions at this point. Start with microphone number 1, please.
Davis, JB looked like he was getting work done on his shoulder on the range. Is he okay?
I didn't see it, but I saw about 4 or 5 drives. They looked okay to me. Yeah, we've got a great team around us. We've got a bunch of physios and doctors and trainers, and so they're keeping guys going. But nobody mentioned it. I was kind of organizing stuff in the locker room, and then got out there on 10 when they were all teeing off, and he hit one in the rough off of 10 and then bombed one down, kind of down the bottom of the hill, and we were all just standing there going, how do you drive it there? And then same thing on the next hole. So he's always fun to watch. He didn't look hurt. He was chirping too, so looked like physically and mentally he was ready to go. You know, we're always messing with something. You know, Zach was in there stretching, and you know, everybody's got different ways to warm up, so I'm sure he's trying to get loose. It's cold. That's the biggest thing. I talked to, you know, some of the European guys and our guys. It's just, you get down there by that lake, it's cold, and cold on the range getting going. So I'm sure we're looking forward to this forecast we've got for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A little sunshine and maybe a little warmer.
Let's go to microphone number 2 in the front.
Hi, Davis. I wonder if you can give us an insight into how it works in your team room. You've obviously assembled a strong group of vice captains. You've got an equally strong team leader in Phil, but obviously the ultimate decision maker is you. I just wonder at what point you remove yourself from that process and you give yourself time to make the ultimate decisions.
Well, that's why I was hanging out in the locker room a little bit this morning. You know, we're defining our roles, you know, as what we're going to do out on the golf course. For example, I saw Tiger on, I don't know, 12, 13. Said, "How's it going?" He goes, "Perfect. I don't have to worry about Tiger and his group." And you know, Tom Lehman texted me, "My group's playing great, having fun, no problems." So I'm in charge, and I've given them their charge. Tiger was giving me a hard time a couple weeks ago. He said, "You're giving me way too much to do." And that's what this thing's all about, is we're dividing responsibilities. You know, I can't be the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. So I've given them all different roles. You know, Bubba stepped in. Bubba and I rode out yesterday, and we talked a lot this morning about if we have 4 guys watching matches, what can Bubba and I do to complement each other and to support? So we're asking questions of the caddies and of the players. What do you want us to do? Probably don't need to mess with Jordan Spieth. You know, he's got a game plan, but maybe some of the rookies. Who's going to go walk with a rookie if something goes right or goes wrong? So we're all dividing our responsibilities and having fun, and just supporting the team. That's what it's all about. We're here to support the team, and if that means me run back and get a sweater, I'll go get a sweater. My son and I just delivered turkey sandwiches up to the group ahead, and Roger Maltby was laughing at us. I said, we're very important here. If we don't get the turkey sandwiches to these guys, they're not going to be happy. So all 6 of us are doing whatever we can to help out.
Follow-up question here.
Oh, how's Phil fit in yet? When I got up and spoke last night, you could see Phil inching forward in his seat. And he said, can I add something to that, Captain? And I said, yes, please. And so Phil and Amy got up and gave a gift and spoke. And, Phil is kind of the backbone, I think, of the team. He's 22 times in a row he's been on a team, and nobody's seen more team golf on our team than him. And again, I just mentioned it the other night, Phil and Tiger sitting in a room talking, and the quiet guys are sitting in the back just listening. We're just soaking it in. So when Phil gets up to speak, he obviously has a purpose when he says something. He's not winging it. And he's been a team leader. Gosh, I'd say the last 6 or 8 teams I've been around, he's been the leader on the golf course or in the locker room or in the team room.
Let's go to number 4 here on the left.
Yeah, Davis, are the guys giving you any feedback on how the course is playing? And are all the weekend pin placements predetermined?
No, Kerry Hayes doing the pins. I think we agreed in the last few captains agreement that we were going to get out of the business of the home team setting the pins and the other team not knowing. Kerry's got a track record here of PGA Championships. I have a feeling that we can use those old pin sheets, and they'll be pretty close. There are some holes where it's just obvious that all 4 pins are going to be up here, and they're not going to be on the slope on the front. I would say that Kerry's seen Paul Azinger's setup and my setup in 2012, and he knows that we would probably prefer it not to be as difficult as a Sunday of the PGA Championship. We'd like the fans to see some birdies, but once Sunday hit, last Sunday hit, I was not allowed really to comment on the rough anymore or where the tees were going. So I think it's been a more fair way to handle it. Darren and I've agreed on a lot of things, and that was one of them. I'm not going to all of a sudden go 100 yards up on a tee. If we're behind, play the course longer. All that stuff's pretty much done with.
Over here on the right, number 1, please.
Hey, Davis, why do you think the U.S. has struggled with foursomes in particular in recent years, and what do you think they need to do to get better results there this time?
I think I answered that in one of the last couple of press conferences. I think we're good at it. It's a format we like. And I keep saying this team's never played together before. This is 12 guys that are looking to the future. And we like our foursomes teams. We like our 4-ball teams. And we're excited to get started.
Number 3, straight back.
Davis, it's obviously been a tough run for the US at recent Ryder Cups. How confident are you that hasn't created any sort of psychological barrier as far as your players are concerned going into this?
I think I answered that in the last question. This team's never played together before. It's 12 strong guys, and we're looking to the future. You've heard it over and over again from us. We're really proud of this team. We're excited about it. And yes, we would dearly love to win, and we'd love to win some in the future. And that's why we've prepared so well. We've put so much effort into it. And we're looking forward to getting started playing on Friday because we feel like we're, as Phil said this morning, we put ourselves in a position to succeed. We don't know what the result's going to be, but we're excited about the prospects this year and in the future just because we're kind of got a new beginning over the last couple of years.
Number 2 on the left, please.
Davis, when you think back to your 2012 captaincy and you compare it to the 2016 version, how do you feel you've evolved or are evolving as a captain?
Body's worn out a little bit more. Can't keep up with these guys in practice rounds. But, again, I'm going to get boring here. Same thing. We're looking to the future. We have a lot of great memories of 2012. I had Webb Simpson calling me the other day to tell me what a special week it was for him. How he was, pulling for this team, and he wanted to see this team do well. But also had Ben Crenshaw last night, and Curtis Strange, and Lanny Watkins, and Hal Sutton, Corey Pavin in our team room supporting us. So I think this team really feels like we got the whole Ryder Cup family behind us, and are excited to move forward. So I keep saying it was an honor for me to be the captain in 2012. This time I was picked by a different group, a group of my peers. So I'm humbled this time and excited. But it's a great group of guys we have working together. Yes, Tiger keeps saying, you make the decision, but I've got a lot more support this time, and that's what makes it more special.
Number 1, please.
Davis, as the task force sort of analyzed what's gone wrong for the Americans over the years, how much specific analysis was there of maybe what Europe does right or what does better? And if you did, what were your conclusions?
Well, I think Phil said it well this morning. We did not have any consistency and continuity to our team. We had a lot of great decisive captains. We had a lot of great game plans. But we did not have and now we have a Ryder Cup committee similar to Europe that's made up of PGA of America and the players, and we have a game plan now for this Ryder Cup, for the next Ryder Cup, and into the future. And I just think we reorganized, we restructured. We had a franchise that was losing all its games, so we changed the front office and started over, and it's a fresh beginning. We're excited to look into the future, and I think, the task force is over. The Ryder Cup committee has been formed, and we saw that Europe was a little bit more organized than us and a little bit more thinking long term, and we decided to change our game plan.
Way back, number 3.
Yes, Davis, how much do you talk to the team about some of the gamesmanship that goes into a head-to-head match? Some of the mind games between competitors. Do you guys literally talk about that, or do you just let that happen?
We talk about not doing it. I think Darren and I, you've heard it for a year. We have a lot of respect for each other. We're not going to try to pull anything either in social media or on the golf course. Now, there's things that are different in match play. Like I was saying yesterday, Tom Kite told me, outdrive them and walk faster than them. Act like you're going to beat them. There'll be some things. There's not going to be any popping of gloves or making noise or coughing in backswings, those kind of things. But letting a guy putt out a couple times. Things like that, that's part of match play, and it's fun. And a lot of it's done with a wink and a jab. But you got to remember, there's 12 guys on our side and 12 guys on their side. We play golf together all the time, and we're friends, and we compete against each other, whether it's in practice rounds or in PGA Tour or European Tour events. So we're used to competing against each other, and it'll be hard fought, but fairly fought. And Phil may throw in a comment here or there, or Westwood might throw in a comment here or there in a match, but it's all in fun, and it's all in good spirited competition.
Number 4 on the left.
Davis, could you provide some insight into your philosophy on pairings for the foursomes? Do you prefer like games or like personalities? And how much does the golf ball come into the equation?
Well, yeah, you got to have guys in. When you're hitting a tee shot for a guy, you better know what the golf ball is going to do when you get it out there, and you better be comfortable with each other in any situations. I think that's why Fred Couples and I played so well together, is because we just ignored everything else that was going on, and I trusted Fred, he trusted me. There was no discussion of reading putts. We just went out and played golf. And I think if you get two guys like that get along, trust each other, and they're not worried if you hit it under a tree or if you miss a putt. There's no apologizing. I think if you get two guys that are in sync like that, that makes a good alternate shot team. Get guys that are wondering what's going on, and I don't understand that ball. It's a tough format, especially when things start going wrong. So, you'll see friends out there playing together in our pairings. You see guys that have done it before, and I think comfortable and confident and trusting is the way to make those pairings, especially, you know, you're playing your own ball. It's a little bit different. You still have to have that same feeling, but it'll be a different animal Friday morning than it will Friday afternoon.
Straight back, number 1.
David, you talk about looking forward, but Phil went 12 years back today to kind of be very critical of Hal Sutton. Time and the place to do that, you think?
Well, unfortunately, some analysts just keep bringing it up over and over and over again, things that have happened in the past. So sometimes you have to set the record straight that you know, we put a lot of effort into this. We take ownership in our losses, but we move forward from it. And you know, Hal was an incredible captain. I thought he was brilliant sending his 2 best teams out Friday morning. His 2 best teams got beat, and I think it demoralized the whole team. If Davis Love would have played a little bit better, you know, maybe Chad Campbell would have played a little bit better. And I think Phil's looking forward to what's happened over the last year, and we've learned a lot from all of our past captains on how we need to do this together. And Hal Sutton was in there last night. Like I said, all the past captains that were on site were in our team room. It was an inspiration to see him. And you know, I'm a past captain that lost. We've all learned from our mistakes and moving forward as a group now.
Couple more. Let's go to number 2 right here, please.
Hey, Davis. This is kind of in relation to what difference a home crowd can make, and what I'm at. You may or may not have seen it, but Danny Willett's brother penned some article for a website over in Europe that excoriated and ridiculed the American fans, which I can't imagine Darren might be too happy about, just in terms of maybe inciting them here. How much did you see that, for starters, and how much can the home crowd be, and might you expect them to be a little more lit up given this development?
I heard about it on the golf course from a friend of mine from NBC, and I took Coach Belichick's advice. I ignored the noise. If you know me, I don't watch a whole lot of. I don't even read my own press clippings when I win much. I don't pay much attention to it, and I was even tempted last night to start flipping through it when I was going to bed, and instead I went to the World Surf League site to see if Kelly's going to make it to his contest on time next week. But if I read it, I'm just going to get mad. You know, if I read it, I'm going to get defensive. So I just try to ignore it. You know, the fans here are. Yesterday, I went up with Bill Murray to watch them hit off the first tee, and the fans are going nuts. You know, and then our guys go hit, and JB hits it off a 10, and they're cheering for him. And we had a chip in early, we had a hold putt early, and it's 4 holes into a practice round, and they're cheering and screaming, and you just think, just wait till Friday, you know, when it's for real, you know. It's just the fans at a home event, both in Europe and over here, the fans just get into it. They're so excited, and it's a big part of the home field advantage is the fans. Now, we have to keep them going. We have to make birdies, and we have to win holes. It got quiet at Medina on Sunday, didn't it? That was scary. It got quiet at Oak Hill on Lanny on Sunday. If we can keep making birdies, it's our job. And you saw it. I mean, I saw it in the North Carolina-Georgia game when I had the Ryder Cup trophy. North Carolina was playing really, really good until the Georgia fans got fired up and were yelling and screaming, and we blew a couple plays because we couldn't get them called in time. Like I played for North Carolina. You know, and if we play well here and get the fans behind us, then we've got an advantage. But we have to go do it. You know, we have to go make some birdies. So they've been great so far. I mean, I've never. We say the South is very gracious and welcoming and friendly. Everybody on our team has said, these people here are so nice, from the hotel to the golf course to Chandler's staff to the fans. They've really welcomed this team. And we've said it all along. They're golf starved and crazy up here. It's a short season. They love to play, and they don't get to see PGA Tour golf, European Tour golf that much. So we really feel it, and we're going to try to embrace it and use it to our advantage.
Wrap it up right here with number 1, Bernie.
Davis, you mentioned at the very start of your interview how much you're looking forward to, how anxious you are about your speech tomorrow at the opening ceremony. Is that the only thing you're anxious about and nervous about coming up?
Not the only thing. Well, Darren got me nervous thinking about I got to make a speech tonight at dinner, And Fred Couples, that's the first thing he said to me when I was named Ryder Cup captain in 12. He goes, "Don't worry about the pairings and all that stuff. Let me give you something to get nervous about." He said, "Those speeches are awful." And I'm like, "Oh no." But I'm getting better at it. Hopefully, I can stick to the teleprompter tonight and not get emotional. But I'm nervous for the guys teeing off Friday morning. I'm nervous about what I'm going to say Friday night. But it's an excited kind of nervous, like we're playing, like we just can't wait to get started. I know my guys are getting every day, it's getting closer and closer. But it's an excitement, I think, not a nervousness.
Follow-up question.
As you get closer and closer to Friday morning, do you feel a sort of a weight of growing expectation on your own shoulders?
Well, expectations of what am I going to say to the team? How are we going to get these guys started? What do we say if things go right? If they go wrong, what are we going to do? And ultimately, what's the best way to stay out of their way and let them succeed? Not make them nervous. If Tiger and I walk up to a group, are we going to make them nervous or are we going to help them? Is Bubba going to go out there, and if the fans see Bubba and they get excited with Ricky, is that going to make it tougher on Ricky, or is it going to make it better for him? So those kind of things we're not anxious, worried. We're planning out, trying to make sure we do what we can do to help this team succeed. Phil keeps preaching it. What do we need? I said it before. I don't think we need to mess with Jordan that much. Maybe there's some other guys we can do something for. But again, even if it's just bring the sandwiches in the water and drive them in when they win, whatever it is, we just need to be prepared for it.
Davis Love III, United States Ryder Cup captain, thank you for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.